Mr. Wes, umeanza tuanze.
Is this presentation happening? I can't hear anything.
Hello sir, ndio tunaanza saa hii. Sorry, ndio tunataka kuanza.
Okay.
Yeah, tunaanza tu saa hii.
Sawa.
Tunangoja iende online ndio tuanze. As others join.
Kutoka last year hapo hivyo. You know now, like here ukitaka kwenda kuona kwanza ile iko kwa hoteli.
Good evening. So I think we just start right now because we've been trying to record it online, but it has some issues. We are facing some challenges with the recording, so we are starting immediately so that others will join us. Iki record ni sawa, ikikataa pia ni sawa. We'll do whatever it takes. Sometimes online things tend to make us uh, tend to be very much challenging. So today we're going to welcome all of you. Those are attending, welcome so much. Thank you for creating time to learn this wonderful evening. So today we are going to learn about big six challenges. I don't know. People have been asking these questions. They say they will join us and they will. They won't. I don't know how now I'm going to help them to answer the question because I wanted to answer all of them at once. But I see few have joined. Those have the same questions. Wale wengine wamesema watajoin sijui what time and the recording inakataa, so I don't know how I will help them. But we just start immediately and we continue. So today we are going to talk about I'm going even to share my story about what I do with my apples and what about my production, and then also to share with what I do so that I can get good production. Okay. So thank you for joining me today. So we begin. The introduction part, we're going to talk about the apple majority of people are growing right now in Kenya, which is Wabugu. Okay. It's the variety which are growing, we are going to talk about. Okay. So like you can see in this picture, this is the apple. These are varieties and they are apple from my farm. This is Feb. This was Feb. Yeah, Feb harvest. I harvested these fruits on February, and now we're going to talk about the importance of growing this fruit. Okay, common challenges farmers are going through because farmers are really going through many challenges about apple. Is it okay? So we're going to talk about certain challenges farmers face. I hope mnaweza ona. Okay. If you can see the screen, you can react kindly. If you see the screen, you can react. I know that we're together. Tuko pamoja kweli?
Yeah, I can see your
Okay.
screen. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. Okay. So so importance of growing this fruit is just one basic thing. As farmers we're growing it for money. I know we want some profit. That is one reason why we're growing this fruit, the apple fruit. It's also very new in Kenya. Apple farming is very new in Kenya, so we're growing it so that we can make money because it's a new venture. Okay. Another importance with growing is that we want to feed our nation with quality fruits, which is very key. Quality fruit is one of the basic things we need to do so that we can feed our country very well, so that they can enjoy a very good product. Okay. Another thing we're going to why we're growing this fruit is because we want ourselves first to be healthy. Me personally, when I started, I wanted to be just to eat good food. I just wanted to be healthy. So that is the main reason I started as a person. Okay. Then as because we began with few fruits, few trees, we so this is something that we can do also as business. So we began doing it as business. Okay. So one can do it as they can do is for money, or that is for so that they can get some returns back because yeah, it has a very good premium price. People, you guys, you've been buying apples in Kenya, so you know how the premium the fruit is. Because in the farm price we don't sell less than 15 shillings, even the small one. We don't sell less than 15 shillings, and I don't hear people complain. But when it's so small, they complain. But when you have quality something, they don't complain. Okay. So we're going to face also the training. We are going to talk about flowering and fruit setting of this fruit, which is apple. The fruit quality. What is the quality? How does the quality of the how you can improve the quality of the fruit? Another thing we're going to talk about is pests and diseases. Okay, that make you not have a very good production. And then we're going to talk about nutrition and care for this fruit. Okay, we're going also to talk about that. So we go to the other one. So why grow apples? Okay, so we can start with that. Why are my apple not producing? So I've been asked. So this training, I've been asked a lot of question by. I've been asked a lot of question by people who have been farming. Okay, this fruit. So they be asking these questions to me. Why are my apples not what? I don't know why the screen is not going. My we so people have been asking this question. Why are my apples not producing? Okay. And then I have some reasons why I think people apples are not been doing well. And one reason can be because of immature or young trees. So number one, if your apple trees are not yet more than a year and something, yes, people have been told in Kenya that you can allow the fruit to start fruiting at 9 months. Personally, I don't encourage that because it is still a baby. It's still a very small tree. Yes, it can produce. That is very true. But how many fruit can it produce? Very few fruits it can produce. So you don't want a tree that is producing only 2, 10, even 10 is maximum for that tree. So only 3 to 5 fruits. Okay. So it's true. Yes, it can produce, but not much. You can not say you can break even with that kind of production. So you need to learn how to make sure your plants are getting good production. Okay. So example number one, you need a fruit tree which is giving you more than 50 fruits or more than 100 fruit. Okay. So that is one thing you need as you want to grow your apple tree. So immature young trees, example that are less than a year, okay, they are not very good trees for you to start. They are very young for you to start getting a very good production. So you need to be patient enough so that you can have good production. But now when we're talking about a year, which tree which is between 15 months to 2 years, 3 years, which is not producing, now that is a different case. Okay, because number one, if you have a big mature tree which is not producing, that can be an issue to do with pollination. Number one is bees. You can be lacking bees in your farm. All companion trees. You need also companion trees that are going to help you have a very good production. Because with only one cultivar, when you're growing one cultivar, you can do your own research. When you're doing one cultivar, you're always going to have less production because of pollination. Okay. Number three is poor pruning. When you prune your apples very raw, by the way, I've come to learn that we train people how to prune, but they don't really know how to prune. So they prune even the mature trees. Okay, they prune in a way that is not going to bring any production at all, and they just leave the water shoots. The water shoots are the new shoots which are just growing, which are going to give you flowers for the next season. So majority of people are just pruning it. They are doing bad pruning, and that can also, which encourages many water shoots and no flower buds. Okay, so that is also another reason not have people are not having very good production. Okay, Another thing, there's also pests and diseases. There are a lot of pests and diseases affecting fruit apple farming. It's not just apple farming, all kind of fruit farming. It is affected by all. Um, it is affected by majority the production. Okay. The additional tip I can add is that you need to introduce, if you're farming one cultivar, you need to introduce more so that you don't rely on just one cultivar. So you need to introduce a pollinator. You need to introduce, first, you need to have bees in your farm. Number two, you need to have a different cultivar that is going to, you are going to interplant with the other variety. That is going to give you a very good production. Number three, you need also to use proper pruning techniques to encourage flowering. So there's a way you need to prune it, your apple tree, so that it can flower. If you prune it the wrong way, it's going to have some issue and some challenges, and it's not going to flower. Instead, it will bring a lot of water shoots. Okay, so you need to know how to prune it. Challenge is when you are trained and then you try to do your own things. You train someone to do this way and they try to do another thing. That is also a challenge. Okay, so that is why majority of the question, that is the reason why your trees are not producing. Okay, let's go to another section. Okay, so I've been also asked this kind of question. People have been asking this kind of question. Why uh why do my flower fall? Okay, so they always ask like, I'm having these fruit trees, but my trees are aborting. Okay, so they always ask, why are my flowers aborting? And then you lack the answer, because sometimes if you don't have the same things we have highlighted there above, you find that there's that challenge. There's that challenge that you're going to face. Okay, so if you're growing fruit trees and then you are facing a lot of flower abortion, these are now the causes of that. Okay, so number one cause is that you may have some nutrients deficiency. Okay, E- um, essential nutrients. I forgot to add one here. Can I? Is it possible I add? Okay, yeah. So essential nutrients, number one is boron. There's another one called iron. There's another one called sulfur, and then there's calcium. Okay. Um, so there are some essential nutrients when your fruit trees are flowering, not just apples alone, even other fruit trees which maybe you are growing. So other fruit trees needs, every fruit tree during flowering, they need boron, they need iron, they need sulfur, and they need calcium. So any spray, maybe organic or synthetic, that you're going to apply for your fruit trees so that you can have a very good production, they need to have all these. Okay, they need to be good to have these nutrients. Okay, they need to be very good in to have boron, have iron, have sulfur, and have calcium. We have dealt with the class about all these kind of nutrients. So if you don't know how to deal with it, you can go online or see, you want to see how they look, you can go online to our YouTube channel. You can see all these deficiencies, so that we are not going back to sharing whatever we talked about before. So that's what the reason we encouraging, we are recording. Okay, so these nutrients are very essential for your crop. Okay, number three, you need, this can be stress. When your trees have a lot of stress, also stress to do with drought, stress to do with also overwatering. Okay, stress to do with high temperatures. These also tend to make the fruit abort. Okay, so if there's drought and you're not watering your crops, all your apples, all your any other varieties of fruit you're growing, you're going to have a lot of abortion of flowers. If you're overwatering, fruit trees during flowering, they need water, but don't need excess water, because they also affected by something we call root rot. Okay, so you need to know to do a kind of watering that is good for them, even to have just maintain the moisture of the fruit trees. Okay. We're also going to do about the temperature. If the temperatures are changing, like high temperatures and low temperatures at that time, it also tends to, example, when you have very hot days and cold days, that tend also to stress the tree so much to an extent that they are going to start aborting. There's pest attacks, and I've seen many pests which are causing flower abortion. Number one pest you can do is thrips. There's also aphids. I've also seen in my farm, I've also seen weevils. Let me add that here. Weevils. So in my farmers, I've also witnessed weevils in the farm. They are eating the flowers, and also I've seen grasshopper eat also those kind of flowers. So that they don't, if they eat the flowers, honestly, you're not going to get any production. Okay. Then there's fungal diseases. I'm going to share as a presentation up the next slide. It's about the fungal diseases, about the formed fungal diseases. Okay, so we're going to see how like fire bright, like something like apple scamp, how they affect your apple tree, not to have very good production. So fungal diseases also are causes of flower abortion. How do you prevent these things? Okay. You need, number one, to do timely watering. You also need to do mulching. Okay. You also need to do balanced nutrition for both foliar spray, for foliar spray with boron, sulfur, and also iron and calcium. Written iron in a iron. Okay. Iron and then calcium. Okay. So this foliar spray will help you have immunity for your trees so that they can those flowers do not abort. Then you need to check regular pest and disease scouting, not pest alone, but you can also check disease scouting. When you notice one, you need now to do the necessary, maybe apply some insecticides. You can apply some, there's organic way and also synthetic way. So it's your choice. It's always your choice on what to apply and according to what you want as a person and what your consciousness tells you as a person. So you need also to work on that regular pest scouting. When you do that every day, you're going to have a very good production. Now, these are from a client farm. I saw them in a client farm. Personally, these I faced when I was starting this kind of deformation and this kind of spots in the fruit trees. So someone asked me, why is my farm a bit small, all deformed fruits? Okay. Then the reason for this, just give me 1 second. I drink some water, please. I'm coming back right now. Sorry, now we can continue. So I was saying, people ask me also about small or deformed fruits. Why am I facing some small fruits? Why am I not getting quality fruits? I'm not getting small fruits which are deformed. So the answer for them is that number one is poor pollination. If your pollination is not done well, maybe with other cultivars also, or with other not cultivars alone, but also with lack of insect, all bees, all wind that is going to pollinate your farm, you're not going to get a very good um, fruit set. Okay, so that is number one. Number two, you lack of thinning. Okay, so example in a flower band, every flower removes between 5 to 6 flowers. Okay, for apples mostly, they always give 5 to 6 flowers, all fruits. Okay, then you decide to allow all the 5 flowers, just all the fruit to form. You're not going to have a very quality fruit. You're going to have very small fruits. So what do you need to do? You need to thin them. You need to thin them, like for every flower bud, just leave maximum you can do is 3 if you have quality. Because when you leave 3, you'll have like maybe six fruit will be almost a kg. Okay. But when you do 5, you'll have like 10, not 10, I mean 12 to 15 fruits, which will be like a kg. So you can see the difference. When you have small fruits which are very good in quality, they are going to give you as many quality fruits. So you need, okay, personally what I do a lot of thinning for my fruits. You will always find in every flower cluster, there's only 3 fruits. You will not find more than 3 fruits in my farm. I always thin them out. And I think that is the why we have very good quality fruits. Okay. So thinning is very key for mostly the small fruits. There's also nutrient imbalance, and this now comes in when you don't know your soil. If you are not tested your soil very well to know what kind of soil your plants needs, like potassium, potassium is one of the essential nutrients for you to have very big fruits. But when your potassium is very high, you need it to be balanced state, not high and not low. Okay, so that you may have a very good production. But when it is too high, you're also going to get a challenge in that. Phosphorus is very good for root formation and also bringing now food from the roots now to the plant itself. So if it's so too low, you're not going to get enough nutrients for what? For the plants to take into the fruit. So you're also going to have small fruits which are deformed. So you need to understand what kind of soil are you dealing with? What is the pH of the soil? How many nutrients does it? How many? Which nutrients do your soil have? Is it potassium? If it's potassium, how high is it? How low is it? So that is going to help you understand how can you manage your production very good. Okay. So the solution for that, for small and deformed fruit, this solution number 1 is thinning, which you do and thinning. Okay, to leave the strongest ones. And I said you can do three fruits per each cluster. Um, you can also use a very well balanced fertilizer. Okay, foliar fertilizers high in K and phosphorus. K it means it is potassium. Potassium make your fruits to be big, honestly, and also sweeter. So potassium is very good for sweetening of your fruits and also to make them bigger. Phosphorus is very good for bringing all the sugars, all the nutrients from the ground as a maker through mbolea and bringing them to the fruit so that it can increase their health. Then, and also promote healthy flowering. So if your tree is very healthy, you're not going to face all these kind of challenges. Okay. Now, another question I was asked is also the person had leaf and fruit which are dark, or leaf, fruit, dark spots. So they had the leaves and the fruits are dark spots. Like in these pictures, you can see. Don't know. Let me see if it can zoom in. Mhm. So I want to show you the fruit, how it looks. Okay. I hope you can see the fruits. So you can see in the fruit there's some deformation. You can also zoom in your phone if you have your phone on. You can zoom in your phone, so you can see there's spots. There's dark spot in the fruit, and also in the leaf. Okay, so those dark spots these are fungal diseases which are affecting your fruit tree. You can also see in the other picture there's an apple tree which the leaves look curled. Okay, those are fungal diseases. Okay, so let's back and now discuss what is causing this leaf spot. Number 1 is a disease. Also, these are diseases which cause this. Number 1 of the disease which causes this kind of spot in your plants, all your fruit trees, is now something called apple scab. Also, you can see in the above one, when you see these spots, you can see there's deformation, and also when you zoom in the fruits, you will find there's some spots in them. Okay, and also it looks very rough. The fruits look very, very rough. Okay, so when you check in, those are some fungal diseases and some insects. Okay, in it. So number one is apple scab. Apple scab is when you see these black spots. These fruits cannot be anyone. No one can go and buy this fruit for you. That is the honest truth. Even you yourself, I don't know if you are going to buy this kind of fruit if you find it in the market. You always want the clear fruit and the good one. Okay, so those are things that you check. These are things that you're going to check as you're growing fruit trees. So number what when you think that is apple scab, it looks that way. There's also a sooty brooch or fly speck. Sooty brooch is that when you find soot inamaanisha ni ile when you see the black thing, like when you burn charcoal in some place, like a kitchen, so at chicken, when you burn charcoal in the kitchen, okay, you always find some soot, very black soot. So that is called soot blotch. So it's very dark. The leaves, you find them very, very dark. So that is also a fungal diseases. A fungal disease that affect your apple trees. Another one is black spot. So there's also that black spot. You see in the leaf, there's black to spots. But those need to be, there are so many black spots, okay? It's also a fungal disease, okay? How do you treat them? Any copper-based fungicide, all organic and alternative, more so copper, organic copper, there's also organic copper nowadays. So if you can spray a fungicide, and this is before it happens, or when you realize you have this kind of disease, you spray a copper-based fungicide. Okay, it is going to eliminate all these fungal diseases because they are caused by change of weather. Okay, so that is the base. That is the easiest way you can control the fungal diseases. Another thing you need to do is good pruning for air circulation. So you need to prune your trees very well. If you have bushy fruits, honestly, let me just be frank with you today. That is, if you're going to have bushy plants, all bushy trees, please forget about production. Honestly, you are just feeding the plant just to be bushy. Okay, so if your trees are very bushy, just forget about production. But when you prune your tree very well for air circulation, you need to have good circulation in the fruit tree. This is going to help you have a very good production. Sanitation also, it's also what is going to help. Remove any affected leaves or fruit. There's a client I advised about the same. They thought I was joking. The same thing. They are suffering. This is the second year by the way, and they are still suffering. I'm not happy about it, but they are still suffering with the same issue. They are buying a lot of chemicals, a lot of insect. I know the people are. What I listen is that the people they are encouraging the client that this is a pest. This fungal disease is a pest, so they need to spray insecticide. So he has been spraying a lot of insecticide all in vain. Okay. So what I advise you is just understand. Also do your own research. Don't listen to me alone and then say this is the whole information I get. I'm always right. Okay. Also, personally, I'm also learning. So take a picture of your farm, all any fungal diseases you're going through, all any insects, any insect in the farm, and then do what? Scan it. There's we have Google. You can Google lenses. You ask it what it is. It is going to show you what the challenge you're facing. Okay. And when it show you the challenge, now you can understand this is the issue I'm going through the farm. Now I can have a solution. Okay. Best way how to control these fungal diseases organically is just removing the affected fruits and the leaves. You may think that you're going to waste money removing the fruit and the leaf and also the fruit. And all think it's very much work, but it's the only way you can control this fungal disease. If it gets in your farm and you don't control it, just know the all of your production will always have these kind of spots, and it's not good. And the honest truth is, these kind of fruits, no one loves to take them. Okay, so we continue. Another question I got was someone was saying they have rough or rusted fruits. Okay, so it's also another issue to do with um, fungal diseases. That is number one. When you have high humidity, wet fruit surface during early development, it is causes this roughness. If your fruit tree is very rough or russet fruits, okay. Then there's the overuse of nitrogen. If you are using a lot more, so when you are using fertilizer in your farm, okay, it can also be an issue. Also, a certain fungicide or pest spray. If you spray during the flower formation, by the way, when you spray during flowers, just know bees will not come to pollinate your fruit. And if they had they pollinated it during your spraying period, you're also going to face this kind of rough fruits. Okay, so if you're applying a fungicide in your farm, you need to do it in every season. You need to do it twice. More than that is injuring your plants. Okay. Also copper. Any copper-based fungicide, you need to do it twice. If you do it more than that, you're going to every season. Okay, because you just want to prevent it. If you are curing it, you're going to overuse it, and it's not good to be. It's not going to be of any effect to your farm. Your trees will rebuild that resistance, and now you be spraying and spending money, but all in vain. Okay. So what do you do? What is the solution? So you avoid spraying during hot sun or early fruit formation. During mostly when your pentals have opened, fruit pentals have opened, you need to know how to don't you don't spray at that stage. All when it is hot, very hot, you don't spray at that stage. Um, you also need to maintain a very good canopy structure. Canopy structure is just for air circulation, because when there's air circulation, there's less pests and less diseases, because the sunlight is getting inside your plant. Okay. So for you to have a very strong fruit, okay, for you to have a very good fruit, which has a very good what do we call it? A skin which is not going to click. Okay, as fruit a fruit that is not going to break in middle, you need to apply a lot of calcium. Calcium helps your fruit to have a very strong skin, a skin that is going to not going to make your fruit trees to break, ikuwe imecrack katikati. So that is what you do. You spray a very good a plant with calcium. Okay. Now we go to, so best practices for fruit quality is number one. You start with the one thing I always say in any class. You need to start with soil testing. You need to know, what does my soil have? Okay, does my soil have enough nutrients for growing of this fruit, more so during flowering to fruit stage, because it takes only mostly 3 months. Does it have enough nutrients? Okay, for planting and also for growth. Okay, and also for flower formation. Do you have a very good integrated pest management? Because this is very key also. You need to have a very key integrated pest management. If you are if you growing fruit trees and you don't have very good there's no you are not controlling pests, you are going to face a lot of challenges also in that. So you need to have a plan for the farm that is going to help you have a very good structure for a very good integrated pest management. You also need to prune your trees and know how you can manage your canopy. Okay, so main reason why we prune fruit tree is just because number one, we want to have sunlight exposure to the trees, And number two, we need to have air circulation. You need to have very good air circulation. So these are things that you need to work on. Okay, so that is very key. So make sure you have a very good air circulation for the trees, and also you have a very good prune your trees for air circulation and sunlight exposure. Another thing also you want to work on is you need to scale your watering very good. You need to have a very good way you can water your plant very well. And also you need to know how you mulch your trees very well. If you don't mulch your tree well, as you water your tree, or the what we call the nutrients, if you have put manure and also you have put water, it always goes very up, goes away with water very easily. Okay, it's one of the easiest way to lose nutrients is just doing what? Not watering your plants very well. Okay. So when you want to leaching, what are you saying? Leaching. Oh yes, it's the reason the thing is called leaching. Yeah. Thank you for that. So because of the evaporation, so that is what targets. It's what happens. Um, Other people you can use growth hormone if you want your fruit trees to if you want your fruit trees to start fruiting very early and the buds are mature. You also can do use a hormone that is going to help you have those kind of fruits. Okay. Now we go to the next one. So these are practices you can use. Let's go to there's now the nutrients. There's apple nutrition. This is now is very key. Mostly this is where farmers, I think all of us, majority of farmers go wrong. Okay. You can see in this picture, the one on your right hand side, the one I was talking about thinning. I thin my fruit trees to be 3. I don't allow them to be more than 3. Okay. So you can see in the flowers are 6. Okay. You can see where my mouse is. So the flowers are 6. So if you don't within 3 flowers, you don't sacrifice. It's all about sacrificing so that you get something quality. If you don't sacrifice 3 flowers, you're going to have very tiny fruits. And as a farmer, you don't want tiny fruits. You want quality fruits, which are going to give you a good kg for you to take to the market and get your money back. So here is where I was saying farmers we go wrong, and we go wrong because of this reason. Okay, we go wrong because we don't have a plan or a program where we can go to where we a program that we are following so that we can have a very good production for our fruit trees. So there's a program you need to follow. Okay, if you want to have a very good production, there's a program you need to follow. When you follow the program, you can have a agronomist who can help you more so in having the program that you're going to follow. So the program is going to help you have quality fruits, and it's also going to help you make sure you get as much potential as you can. Okay. So what I can say, number one, you need to because production of apple take 3 months from flower to the fruit to be ready. So you need to have a month by month or as season based guide. Okay. So you need to know when does my flowers do my apple trees flower. Okay. When you know when they flower, now you can go to next thing, which is asking the question, what do I start with? What kind of nutrients should I give my trees when they are flowering, when they are formed the fruit buds, okay, the small fruits, when they are growing stage, the fruit is growing stage, and when it's almost mature for harvest, what kind of program can I have so that I can have a very good standard production, okay? You need to also know when to apply compost. And if you're not doing organic, you need to know out when you can apply foliar feeds, which are fertilizers, maybe in the soil or as a foliar spray. So the choice is always yours. Me, I choose to go on organic and use compost because I'm feeding my soil. I don't want to make my soil more acidic. So I personally use compost. I make a lot of compost in the farm for a good production. Okay. Another thing you need also to understand is what is the ideal fertilizer mix for? What can I use for flowering? Because these are different foliars we're going to use. If you are using for flowering, you need a flower and fruit foliar. Okay. For flowering, you need a flower and fruit foliar, which has all the nutrients, which is the boron, the iron, the zinc, and boron, iron, zinc, and calcium. Okay, you need, and also sulfur. So you need all these nutrients in the flowering stage. Because if you don't apply them, you lose a lot of fruits, and you'll be facing a lot of abortion. Number two, fruit setting. If the fruit have now set, what kind of foliar now do you spray? Because there's a program. If you go to mango farming, people have a program for that. If you go to pixie farming, or oranges, people have a program for that. So for apple farmers, we need also to have a program for that. If you don't have the program, you're going to go back to the same challenges, issues. Okay. Now for fruit setting, and then for maturity. Most of for fruit setting, personally, I use potassium because it's very good for making your fruit to be big. Potassium and phosphorus because for growth, for making your fruit to be big. Maturity also, so you need potassium for sweetening the fruit. Okay. So if you apply flower and fruit during maturity, you're just wasting your spray. Okay. If the fruit have set and you're applying flower and fruit, you're also wasting your spray because there is already fruit setting. It's not any more flowers. Okay. So you need to have that program. Okay. Now we go to, so like this stage, please don't allow your fruit trees to flower at this stage. You can see the picture on your left. Don't allow. This is a very small tree, which is not going to give you a very good production. Okay. Let me share a small what I do in the farm. As I share a personal story of what I do in the farm. I'm not going to share many things, all the pictures, all video, but you can follow us on YouTube as the Kusenga Farm. You are going to learn more on what we do and what we practice, and even pests and diseases, and also how to do composting, all this kind of stuff. We always try to train people so that they have the information. Okay. So ours is mature trees. So in the middle picture, if you can see middle picture here, so we know we always have 2 good seasons in the year. Okay. So we always prepare before the season. Just know that any manure you're going to put in your soil, any kind of manure you're going to put in your soil, it takes between 2 to 3 months to start being used in the plant. Okay. So if you think you're applying manure now and you expect it to be used at that season, just know that is not true. Soil does not work in that way. So for production of fruits, you need to check 3 months earlier. Okay. If you want to do your manuring, you need to check 3 months earlier before the flower sets. That is the right time to do the manuring. Okay. Then when you do that way, you allow your fruit to maybe have some a month of dormancy after any production. Give it a month or 2 for dormancy, and also for pruning, and also to give it time to rest. Okay. Then after that, when the buds are mature, when you have mature buds, you do defoliation. You can see in the middle picture here, we have done defoliation for this tree. You do defoliation, you remove all the leaves, all of them. You don't leave any. You remove all the leaves. If you don't do this one, the issue you're going to face, the challenge you're going to face is one. Number one, if there's a fungal diseases that faced you last season, it's going also to come to this season. But when you remove all the leaves, you're going to destroy all the fungal diseases and all the pests that you had last season. Okay. So you do you remove all the leaves and also you spray. Now this is the right stage After defoliation is the right stage to spray the organic copper or the copper-based fungicide, which is green copper mostly. When you do that, you would spray the tree and also the ground around the tree. When you do that, you're going to control all the fungal diseases that you had before, and also the insect that you had before, because they are not okay. There's no leaves to feed on, so they are just wondering what will they do. So they mostly die. Okay, and you're not going to have the same challenges you had last season. Okay, now after that, now you allow them. You give it 1 month. New flowers and new shoots start coming up again. And when they start coming up, now you apply the foliar, which is flower and fruit. You go for like some 2 to 3 weeks. The fruit setting starts. The fruit is set, and then now you focus on phosphorus and potassium until the fruit is ready for harvest. Okay, that is a simple program that I use in the farm, and I always have quality fruit because of a very simple program. And we have done that because we have experienced such challenges before. Okay, and one thing I need to make you know is that you need to have these different cultivars. You don't grow one cultivar alone. If you are doing one cultivar, just know there is a challenge during the flowering stage and the production, because you're not going to have a very good production. Okay, yeah, so that is my study, and that is what I do it in the farm. Okay, so we get to question QA, that is question and answer. But before that, you can see the first picture here. This is Braiban. This is Braiban. This is Wabugu before it is ready for harvest, and when it is ready for harvest. Okay, that is the variety. That is how it looks. But you need different cultivars for you to have this kind of production. So that one tree can give you more than 100, 200, 300 fruits. But with just one cultivar, you'll be getting just 10 to 50 fruits. Okay, yeah. So that is the biggest challenge you can face. I hope you have understand. And now we get to the Q and A. That is, so what can we help you if you have a challenge, or if you have a question that we can answer. So this class was all about during the fruit formation, not the planting stage, but the fruit formation, and how you can get a very good and quality fruits from your trees. So if you have a question, you can ask kindly. Mary, I've seen you can unmute yourself and ask, please.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Kindly repeat your personal experience. I didn't get it clearly.
Okay.
And you've talked of spraying the copper-based fungicide.
Yeah.
Are you spraying once or twice?
Okay.
Kindly repeat that bit.
Okay. So what that bit is, I think I can talk about now. Apple nutrition calendar. I always have a calendar as a farm. We have a calendar that we follow because we know we have seasons, and we have 2 seasons. Apple. I've realized apple can grow. They can flower. Yes, they can flower throughout the year. But the challenge of allowing them to flower all throughout the year is that you're going to have 5, 10, maximum 30 fruits per tree. Okay. But personally, what I want is I want to have one tree which is giving me more than 200 fruits per season. So that the other season it can give me also 200 fruits. So that is per year I can have like 400 fruits from one tree. The other way you will not even reach 100 fruit. You can research yourself, and also you can record your own data to know that and to understand that. Okay, when you have that data, it's going to help you. So personally, because my story is, I know that because I have the records. Okay, we record every production for every season so that we can know if we are making cash or we are not. Okay, so every month, so we prepare our trees 3 months before they start flowering. Like right now, our fruit trees are flowering. So we started preparing them 3 months earlier. Okay, because the soil we put into our soil in it was January, late January now and early February. It's now working right now. So mostly when you apply manure, it mostly takes 3 months for it to be ready. That is what I said. And because it takes 3 months to be ready to be used by the plants, you need to do it before that time. Okay. Like right now, we need to be doing the next in the next 1 to 2 months. We'll be doing the next one for the other season, the last season of the year. So from June, July up there, we'll be doing the next fertilization. That is putting our compost back to the soil. Okay. So so because we have now the calendar, it goes to it helps us to plan well, more so during the flowering, fruit setting, and maturity. Okay. So during the flowering, when our plants now begin, before they start flowering, we defoliate so that we can have uniform production. We defoliate our trees. Defoliation is removing all the leaves in the plants in the tree. Okay, like example in this picture, you can see the minto one here. In this picture, the minto, we defoliate every leaf. Okay, and this happened after a month of production. So we give the fruit trees a month, and now we begin what defoliating. After defoliation, we now spray the copper-based fungicide. There's green copper, which is to prevent. There's also blue copper and red copper. Red copper is very dangerous. Please don't apply in your farm. Blue copper is for healing, but it's not. I don't recommend it at all because it has some very bad scientific effect. Green copper is good because you prevent, and this is before flowers, and this is also before leaves. Okay, and it's not going even to affect you because it's before the production. But when you apply it when there's production, now that is dangerous even for you as a person. So those are things that you need to avoid. Then we apply that during the defoliation stage. We apply it during the tree and also down on the leaves which we have removed so that we don't have the same fungal diseases come again. Then after that, what we do is now we allow them, we give the tree 2 to 3 weeks so that it can start breaking the dormancy. That is through removing new shoots and also removing new leaves, okay, which are fresh and they are free from diseases. They look like this one, this picture where you see these 3 apples here, and also so they are this fresh, okay, as they come out. When they come out this well, I have pictures I've just not shared here for how they look, okay. So that this is the time now you for flowering is when you apply either organic, synthetic, whatever you choose. It's according to the market that you're going to to spray to supply um your demands. But because as we are supplying to organic market, we apply organic foliar which has flower and fruit during flowering stage, and we apply it during this stage. You see the flowers have not yet opened, so there's no function for bees at this stage. Okay, so we have a flower and fruit which has boron, it has zinc, it has iron, it also have sulfur and calcium. Okay, that is a very good combination to help you to have a very good, not a lot of abortion. Then after that, now we're going to go do fruit set. We give them. Okay, sorry, I forgot to say. Copper you spray it twice every season. Please don't do it more than twice. If you do more than twice, you're affecting your tree. Okay, copper is like chuma. It's a metal. So when you do it more, you're going to affect even the production. Inashika matawi. Ikishika matawi, inamaanisha there's no photosynthesis and there's no production in your tree. It's not feeding up. So it's not good when you overdo copper. So 2 times every season is enough. More than that, you're injuring your tree. That's according to my experience. Okay, I don't know about other people's experience, but that is according to my experience. Okay. Now, after that, after flower and flower, when the fruit, now fruit setting, tumetoka kwa flower and fruit. So fruit setting, it means it now You do not have more flowers, it's just fruits, small fruits. In those small fruit, you apply mostly my program is I work on potassium and phosphorus. Okay. I have combos which has potassium and phosphorus, and also I can do a foliar spray, organic foliar spray, which has phosphorus and potassium. This is going to give me quality fruits. Okay. And then after fruit setting maturity stage, we apply only potassium. Potassium is good for sweetening your fruit and also making it big. Okay. So that is basically my program for my program for spraying and how I work with it. Okay. I see another question from oh, okay.
Thank you so much.
Peter,
Thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Kokelo, you had asked that is defoliation done after harvesting all fruit. So you do defoliation after a month or 2 months after harvesting. You don't do before. Okay.
So yeah, thanks. So I think the question I haven't two questions I haven't had you address is, so you
Okay.
said you're supposed to time 3 months prior
Okay.
for you to apply the
Yeah.
manure. Is 3 months
Yes.
prior to the first fruit or prior to flowering? And then the second question is, you are talked about water shoots and how sometimes you prune and instead of productive shoots, you are getting water shoots. How do you go about that to ensure that how you prune, you'd get the right type of growth?
Okay. Okay. So number one, we start with the one you said about manuring, application of manure so that you can get to prepare for flowers. Okay. Recording, what has helped me as a farmer is record keeping. Okay. So I know when my fruits start forming. I know when my tree flower, all of them uniformly. Because I don't want the flower to to have just one flower. That is not good data. It does not show that your fruit is flowering. So you need to have a data from your farm because we are in different, I believe we are in different ecological zones. So according to your zone, there's that time that your fruit are going to flower at the same time. All of them, you can find a whole tree is all flowering. Okay, that stage, that very stage is it's the stage that is going to make you know at which stage my fruits are forming. Okay, so you need to understand which stage does your flowers start coming out. Like example, mine I know in late May, not sorry, in late March to April, I'm always having flowers. Okay, and almost late April, I'm having fruit setting. So anytime between late April and late May start 25th, on 25th of May. Okay. So below that, I count 3 months prior. That is um, that is the time I start applying the manure so that it can be used in the next 3 months. So right now, the manure that is being used, I had applied earlier in January and late December. So that's the reason I'm still having my fruits and are doing well. So you check according to the data, according to how your fruit are forming very well. Not just one flower, but majority all the flowers zimekuja zote at once. Okay? I hope umeelewa hiyo swali.
Hiyo nimeelewa, thanks.
Okay. Now we go to number 2 is about pruning. How you prune your tree is that you need to remove any shoot that is bringing shade to the tree that is not going to produce at all. Any shoot that is not going, it's bringing shade to the tree, it's not going to produce. Okay. Number 2, how you prune it. You need to cut. I think we can do a class about pruning and where to cut each fruit tree, because there's a place you can cut, it removes water shoots. or it starts sprouting more shoots. Okay. Another place you cut, it does not bring any shoot. It concentrates on the one which you left in the plant to mature and start be ready for flowers, all of it. Okay. So I think we're going to do a class about pruning to train you deeply on how you can do the pruning. Yeah, but when the tree is less than a year, I always encourage just work on pruning and just training your tree to be strong enough so that you can have as many production as possible. Yeah. So Peter, I hope I have answered.
Thanks. Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I see my time is almost ending. Anyone else with a question? But you can still go and check this episode in YouTube. We are online. We are on YouTube, so you can also go and check and view it. So anyone with a question? Mary, you are is your right hapa ama ni swali ingine ama? I believe there's no other question. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to thank you all of you. Thank you a lot for joining today's class. Thank you for creating the time. I believe now you can help someone who is facing the same challenge. These challenges I think I faced some like 2 years ago, and then I got a solution, and now it's what I'm working on, the solution, and so far so good for me, and the production is also good for me. So I just wish you guys you have this kind of production the way what I'm facing personally, and we all win together. We all feed Kenya and also Africa in general, because we should not feed Kenya alone. We need also to feed Africa. Africa has a population of 1 billion people, and all those 1 billion people need to eat. Okay, and they need to eat healthy food. So we need to provide for them with that very good food, which is going to support their immunity system. So thank you for joining. I pray God blesses you. Please, if you have question, always chat us on WhatsApp. We're going to answer your question. And thank you for creating time to be with us today. Blessing and have a good night. It's also a very good weekend. Bye bye for now.
Thank you.